And we were in a meeting with Discovery, and they said, well, what are you going to do with your airtime? Because we couldn't produce the fishing show. It just hit me. And I said, well, what about a travel show in an RV? Their eyes lit up and they said, get me a pilot as soon as you can.
Welcome to the RV Entrepreneur Podcast, the weekly show for nomads, work campers, RVers, and entrepreneurs looking to earn a living or build a business while enjoying the RV lifestyle. This week's host is Rose Willard. Let's settle in and enjoy the RV Entrepreneur Podcast, brought to you by RV Life.
Hello and welcome back to the RV Life RV Entrepreneur Podcast. I'm your host, Rose Willard, and today I have the pleasure of chatting with Kevin and Patrice McCabe, creators of the Discovery Channel series RV There Yet TV. These two have run their own TV production company for over 25 years. But when the pandemic hit, they pivoted and hit the road. What started as a way to keep their storytelling spark alive turned into a nationally televised RV travel series, now entering its fourth season, with season 5 already in motion. We'll talk about their pivot into RV life, what it takes to run production from the road, and the incredible journey of building a brand from scratch while exploring this beautiful country. This one was a fun one, so let's dive in right after this brief message from our sponsor.
Searching for the perfect campground can be overwhelming, but not with RV Life Campgrounds. With user-generated reviews, RV-specific data, and real-world internet speed tests, you'll have all the information you need to find your ideal spot. Don't leave your camping experience to chance. Trust the experts at RV Life. Visit campgrounds.rvlife.com to start your search.
Patrice and Kevin, welcome to the RV Entrepreneur Podcast. I am so glad you are here today.
Thank you for the opportunity. We were thrilled to get your email and invite, and we always love it. Sit down and a chat.
Yes, just like around the campfire. Let's go.
Exactly.
Yeah, I've been watching season 4 of all your RV There Yet TV videos, and I absolutely love them. They're so much fun. If you all haven't watched them yet, you should. So I can't wait to hear about your journey and, of course, behind the scenes of your TV production.
Sure.
I'm really looking forward to hearing how it all came together, and I know our listeners will too. So let's get into it. Before RV There Yet TV, give us a feel for what your life and your work kind of looked like, and then what first got you into RVing.
Well, that's a great question to start with. So we started 25 years ago on shooting television with a fishing show. And so Patrice did the sales, I did the editing, and I was the executive producer. And we did a fishing show. I had my childhood friend as the host. So we were really behind the scenes for 20-something years.
20 years.
Actually, the last 10 years were on Discovery Channel, and we'll get to that transition here. So we produced a fishing show, and it was a very different fishing show. We inspired people to get outdoors and get on their boat and go fishing, and it was so much fun inspiring people to try fishing. So then, as we all remember, COVID hit. And when COVID hit here in Florida, where we're from, we're in Tampa, they closed down our boat ramps and didn't let us fish, which was odd to us, but we went by the rules. And so we couldn't fish. And so Discovery Channel, we had 8:30 Saturday morning. We've had for, like I said, over 10 years with the fishing show. And we were in a meeting with Discovery, and they said, well, what are you going to do with your airtime? Because we couldn't produce the fishing show. And I'll start it and I'll let Patrice finish it. It just hit me. And I said, well, what about a travel show in an RV? And their eyes lit up and they said, get me a pilot as soon as you can. And I'm going to let Patrice tell the rest of it.
Well, we had, back up just a little bit, is that because of that fishing show and the success of the fishing show, we went from Texas all the way to New York. It was a saltwater show, doing trade shows, boat shows, filming the show. And then to make that jump to a national network like Fox Sports and then Discovery Channel, it was expensive. We own our airtime, and so we needed to be economical. He's the creative and threw out an idea of, why don't we buy an RV? That way we can take our trade show, we can house the crew, we can, control what we eat and spend. And that's really when we fell in love with RVing.
And that was 2005.
2004.
Okay.
And so flash forward, we're in this meeting with Discovery and he throws out, how about a travel show with an RV? We left that meeting and he did it to me again. I was like, what RV show and who's hosting it? So here we are going into season 5. We still do everything behind the scenes, which we both really, truly enjoy. He loves to edit, but now we're hosting. And it was fun. It's fun. And there were a few caveats when we decided to do it. And he was putting me on camera because this face does not lie. Even if I'm quiet, it's got subtitles. So we're authentic with how we travel, what we do, what we use. It's us.
But she left that meeting and her eyes were this big. She's like, what travel show? You didn't even tell me. It just kind of was one of those moments, those creative moments where I'm in with Discovery Channel. The energy was there. And I just said, what about a travel show? And so I had no idea. So now we get to inspire people to see this country. And it's even more exciting than the fishing show because so many more people do it. So many more people can do it. We say always when we talk to people that anyone can do what we're doing. We just prefer to do it in an RV. Patrice doesn't like to fly, which we have to do next week.
Ugh.
She's really excited about. So that's just really where it came from, was that we love RVing. We've been RVing since 2004, like we said. And it's so much fun. It's really a lot of fun.
Wow. So you just jumped right into the RVing because of this great idea, this pivot. Did you know how to RV before that? Were you familiar? How did that go?
So when 2004 came around and the fishing show was taking off and we needed, to make that big jump to the national networks, and he just said, how about an RV? Neither one of us had ever owned an RV. We had never, you camped with your parents out of a VW van as a kid.
Yes.
But never. So what do? We go get a 38-foot Winnebago Itasca Sun Cruiser. Why not start big? And I loved it, but I would never drive it. I was scared out of my mind. I would back up the boats. I could trailer boats, do all of that, but an RV, no, thank you. So I didn't drive it. We had that we loved that RV and we had that for 15 years. And that was all of our learning, what we liked, what we didn't like, mistakes we made. So all of that was kind of hashed out the early years of having that RV. So we started to really do it personally after we kind of outgrew the RV on the fishing show. And
I think we learned one thing in that RV was Patrice wasn't comfortable in the passenger seat. She got a little motion sickness, so she didn't really do that well in the passenger seat. So later on, I think it was quite a few years later,
2019,
we dropped down to a 26-footer, a Class A. We're Class A RVers. And so we got to a smaller RV because she wanted to learn how to drive. The 38-footer was way too big for her. So I said, let's get into a little 26-footer and you can learn how to drive and we'll see how you do driving. Well, I can't get her out of the driver's seat.
I haven't been out of the driver's seat since.
She loves it. She's actually a better driver than I am. Honestly, she's patient. She's really good. She's by the book. I would break all the rules if I was in the driver's seat. So I can't get her out of the driver's seat now.
And let's be honest, you don't want me navigating. I have no internal compass.
I'm always the navigator. My husband always drives. Like, we know our positions and we do it well and you stick with it,
Exactly. Know your strengths. Yeah. And my strength is not navigating.
Well, people talk about navigating. You don't realize, and I speak to all RVers out there, and if you're in that passenger seat and the driver is navigating and driving, that's very difficult to know, especially in a 35-foot RV towing a vehicle. I mean, you can't back up. We flat tow, so we can't back up. So whether it's lunch, whether it's a produce stand that Patrice wants to pull into, we have to make sure that there's room for us to turn around and get in and out. And so I say that to passengers is take the navigation role, and it's very important.
I mean, your job is very
It is.
important.
It really is.
It's serious. Like when I started navigating, I'm like, oh, I'm just, directions, whatnot. But no, you're right. It's, can you fit into that gas station? Can you back up? No, I'm not going to back up because I'm towing a car. Or you need to know 10 steps ahead and
Absolutely.
plan A, B, C, D, and F.
Good point. Yes.
All of the above.
Good
So
point.
this is great. So your fishing show, you pivoted. You guys are entrepreneurs from the get-go. I'm assuming that you really both enjoy being entrepreneurs. What's your take on being an entrepreneur?
Absolutely. We both come from small business families. My parents owned a small business in Lincoln, Nebraska. His parents owned a small business in Cocoa Beach. So watching our parents kind of create their own destinies. But, there's, you go to work even when you're not feeling well or when you don't want to go. There is no PTO. So for us, it was kind of a natural transition. For Kevin, he does not follow rules very well. And so being a rule breaker, I think entrepreneurship was perfect. I brought in a business sense to his creative side. And so just coming together and knowing, what roles we each fill was seamless. And we love owning our own business. There's days where we have moments where we're like, what are we doing?
Actually, I celebrate 35 years of being in business next year. And when Patrice joined me in my life, she brought the other side. So I'm a creative. So I'm kind of this free spirit, anything goes at any time. And Patrice is, like I said, by the book. And so she brought that business sense to my business. So it just works. And so it's exciting to celebrate 35 years of being on our own in our own business.
I can't imagine any other thing we would be doing. Whether it be producing someone else's show, which we've done, for over the years, or now it's wholly ours. I can't imagine anything else.
Congratulations. That's wonderful. You guys seem like you work really well together. As a married couple working together, you always hear like, oh, no, I could never work with my spouse. But my husband and I, we work really well together as well. So I think that's wonderful. And you keep it going. You guys balance each other out. Excellent.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that's why we're in a Class A RV, because I don't know if I could do it in a little Class B, but that's just us.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, I love him, but I don't love him that much that I want to live in this much space.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. We all have our, we need our space and our time, but that you communicate hopefully well about that.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
So let's get into RV There Yet TV. For listeners who may not be familiar, tell us a little bit about what it is and kind of what's it all about.
You want me to take it?
Go for it. It's all you.
It's really a road trip to explore America. We are such a fortunate country in so many ways. Landscape, number one, the natural resources from coast to coast, south to north. You talk about every kind of geological, landscape out there. You couldn't possibly discover it all. So for us, we love state parks. We have done the national parks. We love that those lands are set aside for us and for generations. But from a film perspective, and when we're trying to get our jobs done, the national parks present a lot of challenges. We can't fly our drone, being number one. Number two, the crowds. So for us, we've always loved state parks. Same kind of features, naturally. We love exploring history of our land, whether it's the land or the cultures or the communities that have settled there and why and what happened there. We love discovering that. Food. We love finding where our food comes from. Why, is this over here in Cincinnati? Why did, this take off in Texas? The farms and the wineries and the distilleries. We love all of that. And then we've got to mix in adrenaline. whether it's hiking, biking, zip lining,
rail car
exploring,
yes,
or
yes. I saw that video in Ames. I love that video. I was like, I have to go to Iowa, and you always think Iowa. Oh, okay, I'm just going to pass through the state.
That was my crew. That's our crew.
Yeah, that's exactly what we love about this show. Is what you just said. Is finding those hidden gems. People are like, Iowa as a destination. Yeah. And this is why.
And I think, too, when we started the show 4 years ago, Rose, I think you said you've been watching the most recent shows, and we appreciate that. But if you go back to season 1 on our YouTube channel, just search RV There Yet TV, you'll see that we started the show completely different with 4 hosts and 2 RVs. And we started in national parks. And that's what Patrice alluded to, is that we tried the national parks, and we tried 2 RVs and 4 hosts, and the timing was very difficult. Obviously, turning around 2 RVs and doing things on a second take was very difficult. Everything took much longer. Yeah, the expenses. So again, we started the show with 4 hosts, friends of ours out in Sierra Vista, Arizona, Ranger Dave and Calamity Carla, great folks that actually got us into, he was a park ranger years ago at the Grand Canyon. He kind of got us into our love of national parks. So we brought them on the first season and did 3 shows with them, and then realized right off the bat that them and us included that it was too difficult. So in the middle of that season, Patrice and I went to both of us doing the hosting, and instantly it clicked. And the crew said, wow, this is much better, you guys. Because again, it was very hard to get a word in edgewise with 4 hosts. It was just so much, logistics and things like that.
Too many talking heads.
Yeah. So we changed the format after the first season. Again, our first season was only 6 episodes coming out of COVID. We were trying it for Discovery to let them see the quality of the show. They loved the show, but we had to tell them we had a format change. So we love state parks. We love private parks. And if you watch the show, you'll hear me say, I love the people of this country. Meeting so many people is just my favorite part. And I'll say about the history part, I wasn't a history guy. Patrice loves history and knows so much of it.
I was a nerd in school, and I'm going to say that again, affectionately. But honestly, I did. I loved history. I still study history. He was the cool kid and the surfer dude. He didn't pay attention.
But I learn so much history on this show. I mean, if you watch this show, it's truly not about us. Yes, we're the hosts, but really it's about the people we meet and the knowledge we get from them. And I've learned more on this show than I did in my high school. I hate to say it, but again, that's just the way I've grown up. And so now later on in life, as I RV this country, the people I meet, the history, the food I eat, and obviously the adventures we take, I love every bit of it.
Yeah, you guys bring a nice balance to the show, and I have to agree with you. I was never that much into history. History in school was boring. I had to memorize dates and all this, and we weren't out there seeing it. But the 2 years that we were on the road with our 2 boys, road schooling and experiencing all the national parks and history and geology, we learned so much more that way in those 2 years than anything. So,
I bet. And those boys, it's going to stick.
Yes.
It's still sticking. Yes.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yes. Awesome.
Love it.
So I want to go back just briefly. You pitched this new idea to Discovery. Okay. And it seemed like they were like, yeah, open to it. But maybe for other entrepreneurs, pitching a big idea to a network or a brand or platform might seem intimidating. Do you have any tips or ideas that would help someone out with that?
Do your research, number one, and make sure that you have all of your information, all of your numbers. What are you bringing to the table prepared? Because number one, it's very difficult to get that there's so many gatekeepers before you get to the right person that you need to talk to. My job is to keep trying, keep getting through those gatekeepers, keep calling, keep emailing until we get there. If you look back at us 22 years ago when we were knocking on the doors of Fox Sports, and then back then it was the Outdoor Life Network, and then Discovery. We had to keep knocking, keep calling. And then once we got there, you have to be prepared to move quickly. We had to fly all the way to Los Angeles to meet with Fox Sports. We had to, go to Vegas to meet with Discovery when they were going to be at a convention. So we had to sit down and be able to move. Okay, we got the window. And it's really just being prepared and presenting authentically your idea and how it's going to benefit them. But be prepared with that information.
I think also there's two formats or two business models in the television industry. And one is that everyone has this great idea that, Discovery will want it, they'll buy it, and we'll be millionaires, and it's all glory. That's the hardest format to have, because one is there's only so many hours or minutes to the day to put television shows on Discovery. And as you know, from their Gold Rush to all of their different franchises, they're very full. So that's one business model, is pitching the network for them to purchase your show. They produce it, they hire and again, it's very difficult. We have found that owning our own airtime, like Patrice said, we control the editorial, we control the advertisers, we can mention advertisers. If Discovery owned us, we wouldn't be able to say we're in a Winnebago. We wouldn't be able to say we are towed by Blue Ox. So it's just a different business model that we've taken from our fishing show. Our fishing show was the boat, engine, rod, reel, line, lure, now to the RVing. So we really just sidestep genres from the fishing genre into the RV genre. And so that's the two models of television that you can look at. Is one is purchasing your airtime. We spend a lot of money to buy a half an hour. We wish it was an hour. It's the biggest complaint or comment we get. When we first
started, even with the fishing show, we ate peanut butter and jelly sandwiches for 2 years. It was expensive, but we had that fire in our bellies. The same fire we have now is that we know that this is good. We put out quality. I'm going to toot your horn a little bit, because he went to school for television, back in mass comm and broadcast. That's what his degree is in. So
when there wasn't an online,
right? But that is his degree, and he holds everybody, our crew, and we have some of the best people that we've worked with over the years. He holds everybody at a very high standard. So it's not just, picking up your phone and chopping things together. I say to you, he brings the quality level to our product, and then we're able to sell that high quality product.
That's awesome. And I want to talk about your crew. How big is your crew? And how do you manage logistics of this full-scale TV production while traveling?
Well, if you watch me sometimes, you can see that I'm producing literally before I wrote I said my lines. I still am struggling with being the producer, executive producer, and being on camera. Patrice is the star of the show. She's a natural. She truly is hilarious. I spent most of the time laughing at Patrice. She's just hilarious. She really is. But the crew is, we started with a 4-person crew. That was 3 camera guys and a photographer full time. And now we're down to a 3-person crew. That photographer has moved into a camera person, and he also shoots photos. So, and the photos really have come from online and social media. When I started years ago, we didn't need a photographer because there wasn't a Facebook and there wasn't Instagram and things and YouTube. So it's 3 persons.
It's 3 people, and our one cameraman doubles as our drone pilot as well. And then the photographer doubles as another camera. We streamlined it. We have to be nimble. We hang glide. We hike some of these pretty vertical hikes, which we love to do. Not everybody on the crew is always on board with that. But, and we do some pretty fantastic things, zip lining in the rail car. One of these days we'll go ice fishing, and snowmobiling is on my list. But so we have to be nimble. We have to be able to move and kind of leapfrog. So our crew is crucial to how the show comes out.
Is this crew from when you were doing the fishing thing too, or is this new people or added? How did that come about?
So two of them are from our fishing days, and one has been brought in that was a friend of one of our drone pilot. And so it's a 3-person crew. And like Patrice said, it helps when you're doing state parks and things like this, not having a big 8 or 10-person crew that most television, I'm sure a Gold Rush, I see some of the crew and they've got, 6 and 7 people standing by. We can't really have a large crew, whether we're in a restaurant, whether we're in a brewery or a distillery. I mean, it's a small environment. So being able to get the job done with 2 or 3 guys, it's also a kind of the format. People don't realize that what I bring, the style that I bring is a very movie style. So when you watch the show, and I think that's the reason people feel like it moves fast, is it's so sequenced and it feels like a movie. We do multiple takes of things. That's what I talked about, the driving part, why we couldn't do with 2 RVs, is that we do our drive probably 6 to 8 times. We have what's called a no camera guy. We do not want to see a camera guy. So like when we fly the drone, all the camera guys have to kind of scatter and hide so that they can't see. So we do the drive probably 6 times to get the in RV shots, the drone shots, the on the ground shots. So I think that's a testament to of the format.
We had 5-person crew in the very beginning, and big camera, hard cameras. Yeah. We even had boom and a glider, and we're like, whoa, and we had a couple of the guys too that we've worked with over the 20 years on our fishing show that came from Dateline and NFL, and they still work. But we realized it was overkill, and we don't need all of that. So we're pretty lean.
Your RV adventures are worth sharing. With an RV Life profile, you can connect with a community of RV enthusiasts, engage in meaningful conversations, and inspire others on their journey. It's not just about where you go, it's about the memories you make and the people you meet along the way. Start sharing your unique RV experiences at rvlife.com.
Yeah, that's good. It goes with the whole RVing lifestyle too. You're lean, you're simplifying,
Yes.
That's awesome. Yeah, so I want to talk about you're filming. How many takes? I know you talked about the driving takes, but for you personally, at this point, how many takes do you have to do before you get it right? And how do you keep this energy up and all that stuff?
Well, a lot of times we don't. So we'll work with the location or the destination or wherever we're going. We have, Zoom meetings like this before we ever leave saying, hey, we're coming out. We're going to hang glide in Kitty Hawk. We talk to everybody, go over the logistics. But then once we get there, we've never been there. We've never done it. Our crew usually goes ahead and they scope out where they're going to get their shots, where we're going to walk into. But it is basically captured live. For the most part, we're being very, very real in that we've never done it before. We're going through the whole thing as it is, and they're capturing it live. If it's something that we need to get another shot of, or for the drone specifically, that way all other cameras get out of the way, then we do it again. We have to sort of remember for continuity, what did we just do? And what did we just say? But when you're dealing with animals or fishing, rain, it's like you're not always going to get that same replication. But for the most part, I'd say we don't do it over and over, except for the drive day.
If you ask, go ahead.
Yeah, when you're talking, that kind of stuff, you mess up and that kind of,
Yes.
Do you read a script, or is it all in your head? How do you do it?
That's what I was going to say. Patrice, you talk to her, she never screws up. Me, I occasionally will do a retake because I didn't like what I said, or it's one of those things that we retake it. But we have no script. There is no paper script. Like Patrice said, what I find so interesting about this show is that when we get to a location, we have no idea. It literally comes from the creativity. And Patrice is becoming a great producer herself as well. And again, it's our camera guys, it's angles, it's lighting, it's, everybody has to do their job in the moment. In a couple hours, we literally take it. in the morning we have a shoot, and usually the afternoon we have a shoot. So we only have probably 4 hours to get it done.
And that's what I really love. You just hit it before I forget, is that the crew getting to see things through their eyes too. We're all experiencing it together, and they're going to eat what we're eating. They're going to drink what we're drinking. And for the most part, they're going to get to do the same things that we do. They didn't get to hang glide because that was on a time schedule. But for the most part, they're doing exactly what we're going to do after the cameras go down so that we all experience it. But they have their ideas. The Marine Museum, for example, when we all walked in there and we were filming in Prince William in Manassas, Virginia, we were all just struck for a moment because it is so beautifully done and so patriotic. And we were all moved that everybody just had to have a moment to figure out, okay, how are we going to capture this? And then when we got to interview the director, it just kind of went off from there. We got to go see the flag of Iwo Jima, the actual flag. And it's a part that you're not going to see the whole bit in the episode because we just let the director go. And I think at one point the crew's like, how long are we going to sit here?
We shot a 14-minute segment at the Iwo Jima flag. And literally my camera guy had to switch batteries, I think, and just walked away from the set. And came back because we realized
let him go.
Yeah, it was
a beautiful moment.
You didn't want to stop him, and that's truly how it goes. Is that when we get there, we usually interview the expert or the president of the company, CEO, whatever it is, and they kind of give us the roadmap of where we're going. But like Patrice said, our highest rated show of season 4 was Prince William, Virginia. The last episode. The Marine Museum, if you have not seen that segment, it was a truly moving day for us. And it was not even on our outline. We weren't even supposed to go there. Rain happened, and that was our backup. And thankfully, because I think I shed a tear in that museum. It was truly an amazing place that I wish you could see all of it. And it only could a little bit made it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I love how your storytelling and, production of it's so authentic that way. And that comes through. And I think that's why we all love it. So,
yay.
Yeah,
awesome.
We try to make sure that we always say to where we're going, we don't want to do what someone can't do. We want to do what anyone can do. So when they say, like in Ohio, we went for a ride with the DNR, which Patrice loves, men in uniform. She loved it. But I said to the client, I said, well, people can't do this. And she said, well, we're going to do it anyways because it's a great way to see the Ohio River. And that's when I said, we have to make sure that we tell clients that the public has to be able to do what we do.
Yeah.
That's a good point. I love that. Let's talk a little bit about the production kind of process. You're on the road, you're filming. What happens after when you're done with the season? Yeah, take us through that a little bit. Editing, your next planning. How does that go?
So each shoot takes us 4 days. So we go on site for 4 days and we film for 4 days, pretty much 12 hours a day, 10 to 12 a day, very long days. Patrice and I literally at the end of the day crash hard. So then we get home, we copy all the footage from probably 6 or 7 different cameras from drone, GoPros, all of the cameras, the handheld cameras, and they all go onto a hard drive and we come home. Then we start with the format. Now, our format always starts with us driving. And it's interesting, Rose, you asked that question. We're changing the format a little bit this next year because we're trying to make it feel a little longer. The comments we get is it goes too fast. So we're getting rid of some things and we're doing some things a little bit better, I think, to make segments a little longer. But that's when the edit starts. And that's my favorite part. I've been editing for over 30 years. To me, it's a big puzzle that's going to fit together. And the music, we talk about the music a lot, and you can talk a little bit about the music.
He's probably the most meticulous editor I've ever seen. He does an amazing job. I won't see him for the first 2 days when we get home because he's laying out all the footage, lining up all the mics. He doesn't need me there yet. I'm doing laundry and cleaning the RV.
Somebody's got to do it.
Somebody's got to do it. I'm going grocery shopping for the house. And then I'm also going through all the photos Our photographer starts a drive immediately because then we share that with the client. We share that with all of our product partners. I go through sifting, making sure everybody's got everything that they need. And then he'll call me up after, day 2 when we start chunking out each segment, and then we start editing. He lays down the framework. I come in and sprinkle in, hey, this was funny. Oh, we need to include that. And then the music.
The edit always starts with music, because if you watch, and I'll go back to the National Museum for the Marine Corps, it had to tug on your heartstrings. It was something that we really wanted. Everyone needs to see that museum. So that segment to me had to be the right soundtrack. I mean, we went into this Iraq exhibit, so it had to have that feeling that we were in Iraq. So the music is really probably the longest part of production, is finding the right piece of music.
It's challenging because we both want it to hit. It has to hit a chord. So I'll sit there with headphones next to the editing suite while he's just doing, housekeeping on it, basically getting things lined up. And I'll be like, hey, I got, and I'll just go through watching, and then I'll play him a few. No, we put it to it. So it really has to hit. And then, we sit up here and we laugh our butts off. We cry. We get frustrated because, why didn't we get that? So it's a very cathartic process putting together an episode. But once it's put together, we cannot wait to share it. But we can't, you can't let it go until it goes on the network.
I mean, take Myrtle Beach. We did Myrtle Beach, South Carolina at Ocean Lakes Family Campground this year. And it was probably the only show that I had heard the music before we went, because it was beach. And I knew the beach soundtrack. So I had heard some beach songs. But then we went to the next one and we did Willow Tree in the Woods, and I hadn't heard. So it's one of those things where some shows are much easier because the theme, whether you're in Louisiana with the little Zydeco or maybe Texas with a little Texas.
Yeah, like Elkhart, Indiana was hard to pin.
Yep.
Because, what does Elkhart, Indiana sound like?
Yep.
So, yeah, there you go. But I think, with each segment, the music helped bring it to life.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. So we have a YouTube channel, my husband and I, our family, when we traveled, and I edited, and I learned all those skills on my own just by doing, and from others. That was fun. I'm just more the creative type. And I have to agree, the music, that was my big thing too. The music to draw people in and get that emotion tied to it. That's so much fun, but so much work. I would rack my brain over and over and listening to stuff. That's a little exhausting, but
sometimes you just have to walk away. We'll be like,
that's a good point.
We just need to go outside, or we need to walk away and just come back to it. Yeah.
We couldn't at Prince William. It was due a week later.
I know.
So another thing that I incorporated, I've been wanting to incorporate, I'm kind of an MTV guy. I grew up with MTV back when they played music videos. I've always wanted to include lyrics in my episodes. And so this year, or last couple of years, in this episode of this season, we were able to do lyrics. We do our sunset at the end of every first segment. That's kind of an ode to my father, watching sunsets. We love to go see the sunset. Is that we include lyrics. And that's another part, is that just everyone shut up and let lyrics tell a story for us. So that's really another part that I love about, is finding lyrics in the music library that we use. They have lyrics and non-lyrics, and you're able to go in and out. And that has been a new production wrinkle that I've been playing with the last couple of years.
Yeah, the crew always tells us, okay, no talking.
And what music platform are you guys using? I know there's many out there.
Yeah, we use Extreme Music out of New York and London. They're pretty big time, pretty expensive. Not
music library.
It's not certainly not royalty free.
They're wonderful to work with, though. If we get stuck, or Halloween, the one in Sevierville, we were looking for some specific stuff, and it wasn't time for Halloween yet. They usually come out with seasonal. She gave us a drive of, some new Halloween music that was coming up, so that was easy.
That's cool.
It's like having another partner.
Well, that's what you need when you're in production. Excellent. So speaking of partners, how do you handle, you guys do partnership, sponsorship stuff with the show? How do you handle that? those opportunities?
Yeah.
That's Patrice's job.
Yeah. So when flash all the way back to the fishing show, they had this they have this wonderful fishing show on TV, and I had met Kevin, and I was like, well, how do you make money doing this? Oh yeah, well, we have a lure company that pays us. Well, after I went to work with him, bringing those contracts and those, that structure to the business was challenging, is making sure that you outline what everybody's relationship is. So yes, we find the advertisers. Again, this one's a lot easier for me because it's authentic to the products that we use. I just think of everything that I would want to use and represent. For example, last season, if you look at my shoes, they're pretty sweet shoes. I love them, but they're all orthopedic because I have a really bad foot. And so I was spending a fortune on Vionic shoes. And I was like, I wonder if they would just, want to sponsor the show. So it was, again, getting through all those gatekeepers, getting through to talk to the right person, and being able to present our opportunity to them. So we do that with a lot of our product partners.
When I met Patrice, she was a headhunter. So she kind of knew how to get into companies and talk to the marketing and sales and presidents and things like that. I think another tip for the people listening is that LinkedIn for us has been a game changer. So Patrice uses, I think we have a annual fee that we pay LinkedIn so that she has access to executives and salespeople and vice presidents.
It
and
helps
things like
narrow down the persons that you need to speak with.
Yeah.
You don't need to talk to the engineer. I need to find the marketing person or the brand representative. So, it really does help.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point. So let's move on to maybe the challenges that you guys have faced, maybe building this business from the road, because you have the TV production business that you already had, but then you had to create this new content of RV There Yet TV. So any challenges with that along the way?
I would say new technology. It's the new social media platforms. Instagram, for example, for me has been the biggest challenge. Our audience thrives on Facebook and YouTube, and then our streaming platforms like Discovery Plus, and that's easy. But really getting that new RVer, getting that new generation who are cord cutters, they don't have television, making sure that we're reaching, all of those audiences and all of those age brackets. I constantly go back to, we just do us though. I'm not going to go on and do a TikTok video of a new fancy dance or jump on the trend. That's just not us. We're going to be authentic to us. But for me, the biggest challenge I think has been a few of the social media platforms.
For me, I think the challenge sidestepping into this genre was the genre. The RV industry didn't have a television show. The fishing industry has
a
lot. From folks who have been doing it for 40 and 50 years that have laid the groundwork for television. And so for us, when we got into RVing, I thought, wow, it's bigger money market. There's more money being spent on RVs. I said, it's got to be a home run. Well, it has been quite difficult getting the sponsors to,
do something they've never done.
Exactly. And so that for me has been the challenge. I thought it would be easier than it has been. And again, I think it's also the rise of social media and the influencers and YouTube. That has been a challenge. TV is like Patrice said, the cord cutting is happening more and more and more. I think this next year we're going to focus more on our social media numbers to try to get those up where we really didn't. We kind of organically have been growing. Been focusing on the television. The ratings have been huge, much bigger than our fishing show in the same time slot. So that has been a positive. But for me, it was, we did an episode this year before Prince William from Elkhart, and that episode really opened the door. I guess we should have done that quite a few years ago. We didn't think about it. But the industry watched that episode. Elkhart did a great job of telling all the manufacturers there in the Elkhart area, which is the RV capital of the world. If you haven't been to Elkhart, it's certainly where 85% of the RVs are manufactured. And so that episode for us was a big boom. And so that one kind of opened the door, and really the phone didn't stop ringing for a couple of weeks after that episode aired. So that for me has been a challenge is in getting the RV industry to try something different in terms of television.
Excellent advice. Yeah, you just have to keep trying and keep pushing.
Yeah.
And get yourself out there and go to these events, like you said.
Yeah, the RV Business magazine, they put on the RV Power Breakfast every year. And it was a room filled with 1,100 people from the RV industry in Elkhart. And we timed it so we would be up there filming so we could attend that breakfast. And I think that kind of helped propel us. And once that episode came out, people felt like, oh, I know them. I just met them. So you've got to get in front of people. I'm sorry. It's not old school mentality, but you still do need to get in front of people. You can't just do everything on an email or a text. It really has to be, for us, it's personal. And I think people can feel that when they meet us. We get a lot of no's.
I was going to say, the hardest part is how many no's you have to take and keep going, Rose. Just like you said, it's difficult. No. You got to get a win.
lot of no's. You get a lot of no's. And some days it'll get to you, but some days it just lights a fire under my biscuits to like, hey, I'm going to get this done. You've just got to think. I worked for an employer years and years ago that said, you can't go in the front door, check the back door, check the windows, go through a wall. If you really, truly believe in your product, you'll find a way to make it happen.
Yes. And being intentional and putting yourself out there and all that. Yes.
Yeah. Don't be afraid of a no. It's going to happen.
Don't be afraid. Yep. It happens to all. Do you have any advice for RV entrepreneurs who want to maybe break into video content or storytelling?
So for me, the influencer world, we only produce 13 episodes a year, and I'm not a YouTuber, but I'm on there looking around all the time. And I think to myself that all the folks who have hundreds of thousands of subscribers, millions, the pressure it is to create content. And I just read an article last night during dinner. You didn't know this. I was reading an article about a guy who had millions of followers on YouTube and TikTok, and he got burned out. Because he literally, everything became about the camera, and his life was no longer enjoyable because it became, everything was filmed and everything. And as well as we know, is that when a camera is on you, you're a little bit up. You're not relaxed, and you're certainly not yourself. You're having to be on. We call it on. Yeah. And so that for me, I would say if you're going to try to be a YouTuber, just be careful and understand that it is so much work. I don't want you to lose who you are and lose the happiness of being in an RV and seeing this country with your family. That's my biggest concern. Again, like I said, we only produce 13 shows a year. It runs a quarter from April to the end of June, and then we replay those episodes on other networks. But I find that to me, burnout is a real problem that I want to let everybody know about, is that don't make it about everything about the camera, because it can really ruin relationships and ruin families and be kids. I see, kids. I love kids. We don't have kids. We have certainly some great nephews and things like that we love to hang out with, but we don't film any of it. I don't break out the camera and say, kids, let's make a YouTube channel, because let them be kids, let them enjoy that time. And so that's my biggest thing about people who are looking to, and I say influencers because it's so popular with TikTok and with YouTube and with many others that are going to come along, is just know that, enjoy yourselves. Don't forget that life should be fun.
My would be, you said a word, intentional, which I like. Be intentional, but don't be like everyone else. Try something different. We have enough influencers out there in this world. We have enough, want to be famous, aspire to be something different, and do that different. There's a million fishing shows out there, like you said. There's a million of everything everybody's doing. What's unique about you, and why would I want to watch you? And I say that constructively. I'm looking for something different. We want something different. We like to be inspired. And those are the people that we seek out to watch, is, somebody who's doing something different. We like to get out of the way of the camera a lot of times. Kevin's format being is that we're going to take you to these places. These are the things that you can do, but it's not about us. It's about that location.
I always tell my cameraman, get the camera off of us. It's what we're looking at.
Yeah.
It's not about us. And I think what I call YouTube is a lot of that is about you. And that it really should be about what you're experiencing. And so that would be some advice to me, is that what we call cutaways. Shoot lots of cutaways of what you're talking about and make it more about what you're talking about, not about
you
yourself.
Talking about it.
That is an excellent point. People want to know where to go or learn something from that. They are coming to YouTube because they are seeking an answer to something. They solve a problem for them, right?
Yep.
All right, let's get to your RV setup or gear or something that's made working on the road easier for you guys. Anything?
Oh gosh, a lot. Blue Ox, number one. We didn't tow for the first 15 years of RVing.
Yep.
So once we put our jacks down, we were either stuck there, or we would pick up a rental car, or we'd have a friend come pick us up. So Blue Ox, being able to tow our vehicle, holy Moses, it has just opened up our world of enjoying RVing. Longer stays, going out further. And then I would say recently our outdoor furniture, we have searched for an outdoor furniture partner, even just an outdoor furniture that we love. We used one that's very, very popular. Everybody had their cooler there and they had their sticker on their truck window. But their chairs were super heavy. They were not meant to go into an RV. The current partner we have, Kuma, they have heated seats. They have dog beds. They have a kitchen set up where I can have all my stuff and keep it outside, not the refrigerated stuff, but I can put my grill on top of this little kitchen setup. They have a cart that my crew can use, and it has a flat top so you can store stuff on top. I mean, they have become kind of like a fourth crew member for me. She hasn't said this, but I'll say this. We had a bath and a half in our RV. Yeah. All right. So for 2 years, Patrice had her own bathroom. The crew all used mine. So there was the boys' bathroom, and then there was Patrice's bathroom with the shower. And I'll say that was a game changer for me. I'd never had an RV. Matter of fact, I just saw in the news there's a new RV come out with 2 bathrooms, which was kind of blew my mind. But a bath and a half for me, I think for Patrice, was big. And I'll say this too. Our latest sponsor was water. We travel all over the country in state parks, and they have some of the toughest, oldest infrastructure. The spigots are leaning over and just a mess. I live with leukemia every day, so what I put in my body is very important. I'm a cancer survivor. We're both actually cancer survivors. So what we put in our bodies, I say electric and water are the 2 most important things to have in RVing, is control of your electricity with a surge protector and water. And we just went with the Blue Technology water, AR3 water filter. It's a 3-stage system. And it's a game changer for me because it takes out, I used to get sick on the road because of the stress and the driving, and because I have leukemia, it would be difficult for me, and I would get sick a lot of times. Well, now with this new water filter, it takes out the viruses and the bacteria that would get me sick,
And so now I've been the healthiest I've been this last year on the road. And I'm a true believer in getting yourself not just an inline water filter, a true water filter that purifies the water to a 0.2 micron. It's amazing water filter.
And we use the products. We sought this product out because they're stainless steel. It's quality products, but they're also made out of Michigan. It's a veteran-owned company, husband and wife. Again, a great story and partner that we would use regardless of whether or not we had the TV show. Starbright and Startron's another one. They're made out of Montgomery, Alabama. They started the company 53 years ago, father, son. And for us, it helps us clean our RV, treat our tanks. I mean, from every component of that RV, even disinfecting it for those viruses. We love those products too.
Starbright is our longest sponsor, and it was truly a sponsor that sponsored our fishing show for 20 something years. And when I pitched the idea to Discovery to do the RV show, the first call I made was to Starbright that said, "Hey, are you on board with this new show?" And he said, "Absolutely." So again, without Starbright and Startron, two of our biggest sponsors, this show wouldn't be here, actually.
True.
Excellent. Excellent products. Is there anything real quick about the actual, like your computers or anything set up in the RV that helps you work more efficiently?
So very early on, we tried to work in the RV, and we found that we actually installed an RV and a whole wall with monitors and tried to, and we didn't have a diesel pusher. We have a gasser. And if you know the difference between a diesel and a gas model RV, diesels have air ride suspension. Gas RVs do not. And so every bump we feel. So I have found that I do have a high-end laptop that I'm actually using right now that we stream through and things like that. But we can't work on the road.
Not when we're traveling. Not when it's rolling. When we do stop, yes, we are able to edit. I'm able to do social media.
We're actually bringing Patrice's computer on the road with us this year because she needs to have access to her email. And I need to be able to do social media stuff. So we're now bringing her.
I'm long-winded anyway, but on email, I like to be able to type it out.
And internet-wise connectivity, do you have Starlink? Do you have backups? What do you use?
We actually just use a hotspot on our phone. We've been very successful with that. We are looking into Starlink.
We looked at it. We're looking very closely at Starlink. Again, it's one of those things, Rose, the more we work, the more we're out for longer periods. We do about 6 months on the road and 6 months back in the studio. So we're only really part-timers. But the more we are on the road for longer periods of time, the more we have to work. And so we are looking at Starlink.
Do you use Starlink, or what do you use on there?
So we have a hotspot through AT&T and that. Yeah. When we were on the road, that was a few years ago, full time, we just used the hotspot for a while, and Starlink was just coming out, just like the home version and all that stuff. In fact, we were out in Arizona boondocking, and we saw this string of lights just going through the sky, and we were like, "What the heck is that?" My son was like, "We're being invaded."
We thought it looked like Santa's sleigh. I was like, "Oh my God, what is that?"
That's our Montana show. We were at the top of Macoshika State Park, and we were stargazing, and Patrice.
And we saw Starlink.
Santa.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. We don't know enough about it. And again, the hotspot's been working, and we're doing our research on everything else.
And you really have to have a clear view of the sky with Starlink. You can't have trees. So there's some limitations, but I hear it's getting better. So
we've had satellite in the past, but we didn't have as good of a, for me, us, the hotspot worked. And again, it was only really email and doing minimal stuff. But as we get going and we have to upload videos and things like that, that's where Starlink and that speed's going to come in handy.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's start to wrap things up again. I love this conversation, but yet again, I'm going to the hour. It's all good. But season 4 of RV There Yet is now airing right now on Discovery, and you've got it going on your YouTube channel, right?
It's on Motor Trend on Saturday mornings now. We finished up on Discovery. It's now on Discovery's sister channel, Motor Trend. It's streaming online. You can go to our YouTube channel at RV There Yet TV.
It's time to talk about season 5, Rose, because because we have big things planned. So next year is America's semi-quincentennial birthday. It's the 250th anniversary of the United States of America. And we have probably the wildest. I mean, as you heard in the beginning, I like to think outside the box, and I break every rule. Well, this came from...
Don't say too much.
I'm not going to say. So we're unveiling our new RV in 2 weeks live right here on our set. We have a behind the scenes of the unveiling of this new RV. And I'm not allowed to say. I'm just going to say that you should tune in to watch because it's a very special RV just for America's 250th. Blue Ox is making a special product for us. So we're doing all these things for next year to celebrate America. We're going to Branson, Missouri. They're going to light up the town red, white, and blue for us. So big things happening for us in season 5, and we're very excited about it.
Yeah, so we're recording. It is end of July right now, and this is airing September 4th. So where will you be at that point when this airs?
So when we will be wrapping up filming our first 2 episodes of season 5 of the new season.
In Pennsylvania.
And we'll be in Pennsylvania. We're kicking things off kind of where it all started for America's 250. And then we're heading to Hershey. As soon as we get done filming, we're heading straight to the Hershey RV show. We're going to be in the Giant Center. We'll do Thursday, Friday, Saturday of the Hershey show. We'll be downstairs doing seminars in Campers Inn every day. And we'll be upstairs outside of the Giant Center in a big tent. Come by and see us. We have lots of really good prizes and giveaways and money to save. And
that is awesome. Yes, RV Life will be there, the parent company of RV Entrepreneur Podcast. So yes, go and see everyone there.
So will we see you?
No, unfortunately, I will still be in Delaware. Lovely, hot Delaware right now. But I was there last year, and we had a conference there. That was so much fun, and the content creators meetup there was very cool as well. So check that out. Yeah, Joshua will be there too. So tell us again real quick where we can find you exactly online, your website, everything.
Well, just search RV There Yet TV and it'll come up. Our website, our YouTube, our Facebook, our Instagram. It's RV There Yet TV. And season 5 next year starts July 5th, the day after the biggest celebration of our country. We air the next day. On Discovery Channel. So.
But yeah, if you just
2026.
Yeah. So just go to our website, rvthereyet.tv.com, and it'll have all where you can watch us and everything on there.
Excellent, guys. Thank you so much for joining me, sharing all these behind the scenes. I love how you took like decades of this experience in TV and just completely reimagined it, and you went for it for life on the road. So congrats, guys.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity.
We appreciate it.
Thanks for listening to today's episode with Patrice and Kevin. If you're curious about their show, go check out RV There Yet TV on the Discovery Channel, on their YouTube channel, or follow them online with their cool map to see where they're headed next. And if this episode sparks something in you, whether it's storytelling, RV life, or building a creative business from the road, don't be afraid to start. And there's something new I'm going to be trying at the end of each episode. I'll ask my guests a question left behind by my previous guest who had no idea who it was for. I think this will be so much fun and a great way to keep the conversations going across all my episodes. So be sure to tune in to my next episode to hear what surprise question today's guest is leaving behind for my next one.
Searching for the perfect campground can be overwhelming, but not with RV Life Campgrounds. With user-generated reviews, RV-specific data, and real-world internet speed tests, you'll have all the information you need to find your ideal spot. Don't leave your camping experience to chance. Trust the experts at RV Life. Visit campgrounds.rvlife.com to start your search.